So we said the most important element in terms of creating a fade is the face to path relationship. The club face needing to be open to the path to make the ball curve to the right. So what elements dictate whether the club face will be open or closed to the path? Usually I'll look at 3 different pieces. So this is more of an in-depth look at some of these pieces, but I want you to have all the answers to it. So how do we get the club face open to the path? There's 3 parts. Number 1 that I'm always looking at is the grip. Now, if I were to have, as a right-handed golfer, a stronger grip, which would be turned more clockwise this way underneath, all else equal, that would make my club face want to be more closed to my path. If I had a weaker grip, more counterclockwise, turned over this way as an exaggeration, that would want to make my club face be more open during my swing. Now, can you have a weak grip and hit a fade? Absolutely. Can you have a neutral grip and hit a fade? Yes. Can you have a strong grip and hit a fade? Absolutely can. So one grip versus the other doesn't guarantee anything, but typically speaking, the stronger your grip is, the more your club face wants to be close to the path, unless you do something else to combat that. I've seen plenty of players with a really strong grip hit a fade, but you have to do other things. So I would recommend, if you want to hit a fade shot, having the grip pretty neutral or a little bit towards the weak side. Okay, neutral to weak. So that's one thing I'm looking at. It's hard to hit a fade from here. Okay, so if your grip is super strong, that's something you might want to look at. Doable but hard. The second part that we're looking at is wrist conditions. So when I say wrist conditions, I'm talking about both wrists, but mainly the lead wrist. If I want to have my club face open to my path, I'm looking for a pretty neutral to a slight cup in the wrist. The more that I would cup my wrist or extend my wrist, the more that the club face gets open to the path. Okay, so more cup, more extension, more open. If I were to bow my wrist or flex my wrist this way, all else equal, that would close my club face to the path. Now I know some people are going to watch that and say, well, I could take a strong grip, close the club face. I could bow my wrist, close the club face, like Dustin Johnson does both, and he hits a fade off the tee. Okay, so none of this doesn't guarantee it, but he's Dustin Johnson, right? Like super strong grip, super bowed wrist, you're probably not hitting fade shots, all else equal. If I wanted to guarantee fade life on the line, I'd have my lead wrist flat to slightly extended this way, okay? So that's another piece to look at, okay, that's number 2. And then the next part is the forearm rotation or supination. So again, all else equal, the more supination I add or forearm rotation with my lead arm, that, if I have a club face here, the act of doing that closes the club face relative to a path. Closes a club face. If I did the opposite, if I didn't rotate my forearm at all, like this way, and just pulled the handle forward like this, my club face there is very obviously open to the path, okay? Now, does that mean you should stand up on each shot, make your grip very weak, extend your lead wrist and hold on to the face? No. But maybe one of those 3 elements, or if you need to exaggerate, depending upon your ball flight, if you're a guy who hits a big hook, then maybe I would feel some of those things when you go in, all 3 of them. But those are the main 3 pieces for just the club face to path part. To hit a fade, club face has to be open. I would typically look at those 3 elements, not have a super strong grip, not be super bowed probably, and then I look at forearm rotation amounts for just the face to path. Now we'll go through some other parts that you need for the fade and what different elements would affect you being able to hit that shot or what would make it harder.